Well, the average price of gas approaching $4 a gallon nationwide, part of a 2-month decline. But with hurricane season approaching, the possibility of another war in the East and new energy taxes in the tax and spend bill, could prices go back up? Joining me now to share his predictions of where gas prices could go from here, Lipow Oil Associates President Andy Lipow. Andy, great to see you. I've been looking forward to this because you're the man. You see into the future of these prices. Let's take the energy taxes that appeared in this bill. They were a shock to a lot of people, but you have billions of dollars in new taxes on oil, on natural gas, which makes no sense to me because that's a pretty clean fuel, and on coal, which makes me wonder why Joe Manchin supported this thing. Are they going to affect the price of gas at the pump?
Well, I think they're going to have very little impact on the price of gas at the pump. What we have is the administration that is moving away from fossil fuels to more alternative and renewable energy. And that's what you're seeing happen in this package, where a lot of money is being funneled over to these new technologies.
You also have, apparently, and we haven't seen the details, but what brought Joe Manchin aboard were these promises of more drilling permits that were made to Joe Manchin. At least that's what he claims. We haven't seen them yet. Do you believe they're coming?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see which areas of federal lands are reopened to the oil industry. We've seen from prior sales that some small amount of federal acreage has been opened, but not nearly in the quantities that the oil industry would like.
And we're still, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're still about 1 million barrels a day short of where we were before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, that's about right. Today, oil production is about 12.1 million barrels a day. That's up a good 500,000 barrels a day since March. And we're seeing the oil producers adding rigs to the extent they can. The rig count is about 60% higher than this time last year. But like everyone else, they're constrained with all the supply chain issues, starting from labor to trucking to pipe to frac sand.
But, Andy, let's face it, they're also restrained by this administration, which announced at its beginning that it wants to kill fossil fuels.
Well, that's right. If you're in an environment from the oil industry's perspective with an administration that really wants to discourage the use of fossil fuels, reduce the number of gasoline-powered cars that are on the road, and you're worried about demand going forward, it's very hard to invest in that environment. And as a result, you're seeing these major oil companies and refiners buying back shares and increasing their dividends to account for the profits that we see them making.
Right. It's also tough on financing. These oil companies need financing. One, they're putting pressures on banks not to finance fossil fuel projects, but they're also having difficulties because we're not sure about pipelines. We're not sure about drilling on certain areas of federal lands where we know there's oil. So all of these factors add up. And Saudi Arabia, let's end with that. Saudi Arabia agreeing to add about 100,000 barrels a day. That really doesn't make it, does it?
Well, it really was an insult to not only the United States, but to the European Union as well, in order to temper the energy prices that we've seen rise over the last couple of months. But now we're seeing that the consumer is responding with demand destruction, and oil prices are now falling. Crude oil is below its pre-Russia invasion of Ukraine level.
So it's falling because of the demand destruction. That is, people can't afford the high prices, so they're using less gasoline. I've heard, by the way, that we're now down to a gasoline demand that we were at 2 years ago during the lockdowns from the pandemic, right?
Well, there's a lot of debate on the EIA weekly stats, but what I would say is it appears that gasoline demand is off 3% compared to this time last year. And we're also seeing demand destruction in other parts of the world where they simply can't afford the high price of energy. Right. And you see rolling power blackouts in Pakistan, requests to reduce demand in Bangladesh. So a lot of places outside of the United States are leading the way down in demand destruction.
Wow. Andy Lipow, thank you, Andy. Thank you for all of that. Appreciate you being here.